One of our heavy contractors there working in the southern entrance road that goes up into the cabin road.
Cam DeLashmutt is blunt about the last 17 years and efforts to develop land his family has owned since the 1950s.
We never would have embarked on this if we would have known the hassle that we would have been through.
It is a spectacular piece of the high desert, 1,900 acres of sagebrush and juniper draped over the flanks of the 20-million-year-old Klein Buttes, an ancient landscape and a modern battleground.
It's the most litigious land use project that I'm aware of in Central Oregon, and one of the most litigious in the state's history.
It is basically a two-person war over land and water. DeLashmutt.
Oregon has a system that encourages litigation.
Can you hear me?
And Nunzi Gold, who owns 50-plus acres just south of the development and has led this fight from the beginning.
The issue has been about protecting the fish and wildlife habitat as a result of this mega resort.
The nonprofit Central Oregon Land Watch has backed her efforts, and Thornburgh opponents turn out by the hundreds to comment and submit testimony at every public hearing. The two sides agree on little.
Their extravagant water usage will doom us all.
Our water mitigation, we think, benefits fishery habitat. We think it benefits the rivers.
It's simply a delusion of an out-of-touch salesman. The proposed development water rights expired in 2018 when the resort failed to prove up the water rights within 5 years.
The narrative that you're hearing that Thornburgh doesn't have a water right, that it expired or it can't use water is not true. It's a talking point that has been provided in e-blasts.
Trust us, we'll do it. Trust us, the next process will do it. Trust us, blah, 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 blah.
Those are just a few snippets from the hundreds of hours of county-level hearings.
Stream flow, water irrigation,
building a huge resort,
current plan.
But it just starts there.
Then through the Land Use Board of Appeals, the Oregon Court of Appeals, and in a few cases the Oregon Supreme Court, it's been appealed over 50 times.
Opponents say previous state and county approvals of the resort are out of touch with current climate conditions and water supply. Gould points to increased well drilling and well deepening in the region as an indicator. They would like Thornburgh to start over from the beginning.
We're kind of running right through the middle of the building envelope of these lots.
In our first look at the property, DeLashmutt drives us through what he expects could be literally million-dollar views.
Jefferson, Three Finger Jack, Washington, Sisters, Broken Top, Bachelor.
And this is a building lot.
There's a lot that sits right here.
You had interest from people in terms of purchasing and building?
Oh, Lord. Between October 15th and December 30th, I think we had 95,000 visitors to our website.
That website shows the lodging being built for resort visitors, which the county requires before real estate can be sold, and a variety of home designs for later residential buyers.
The developer has received local land use approval for a tentative subdivision plat, overnight lodging units, recreational amenities, and infrastructure for its first phase. And those decisions, most if not all of them, have been acknowledged by the courts. They're no longer subject to further appeal.
The resort includes an 1,800-foot-long artificial lake. Here is the digital postcard, and here's the current-day drone fly-through, a few feet below what will be water level of a lake tweaked to look natural.
Our goal is that this looks like God put it here, that you never know that we had a hand in it.
Early plans included 3 golf courses. The current version has just 2.
This is the 8th fairway that sits over here. The tees are backed by that big tree back there.
This one is fully shaped, ready for grass this year, possibly play in 2024. Work crews are finishing a 290,000-gallon above-ground reservoir. Other utility infrastructure and roads are going in.
This is happening.
This is happening.
But with the constant opposition and litigation, is there any point at which he would just stop, pull the plug on this computerized vision of a fully developed Thornburgh?
Not a chance. If I was going to do that, I would have done it in 2010. We're in it now, and we've got a string of victories behind us, and we're close to coming across the finish line.
The ecosystem
And
is
what about his neighbor
increasingly
and chief
importantly
antagonist? Is there
being-
anything that would convince her to surrender and stop her opposition?
Well, so far she's appears to be pretty persistent, but you would have to ask her.
We did. She twice declined to answer that question directly
me?
and has turned down repeated requests for an
Here are
on-camera
some
interview for this story. There is one thing both parties seem to agree on. They will see each other in court again. Outside of Redmond, I'm Alan Schaffler, Central Oregon Daily News.